Hello, my name's Lisa Turner from Psychademy, and in this short video I'm going to show you my model of how society is evolving as a result of the planetary chakras opening and what this means for the 2012 shift. So, at the beginning of the last century, the population of the developed world had been pretty much starved and ravaged by war and the Great Depression. Food and housing and the very basics for survival and security were in very short supply. So society at that time became focused on its survival and security, getting enough to eat, having somewhere to live. The population demanded change, and throughout the developed world, the food industry started to create mass-produced cheap food. Not necessarily good food, but it was cheap food, so nobody was starving anymore. And then society also demanded and got affordable housing. Home ownership became the norm, particularly in America. Social security happened, and here in the UK we got the welfare state, and the national health system was born. This is the base chakra. The base chakra of society was activated. We had security, we had structure, our survival needs were taken care of. And with that in place, that triggered in the 60s an explosion of the sexual revolution. It was all about free love. It was, the time of the hippies and the Beatles, with that explosion of creativity. People broke free of the shackles of that survival thinking of maintaining the status quo, and pleasure was allowed. So it moved into a time of flexibility. This is the sacral chakra. The second chakra of society was activated, which is about sexuality, creativity, pleasure, and flexibility. And then in the 80s, this was a time of the financial boom, but it was the generation of the me and I. The focus was on individual wealth and success. People strived for power and control. And you remember that mantra, greed is good. This was the time of the 80s. This is the solar plexus chakra of society being activated. And this is about personal identity, willpower, and control. And that triggered in the 90s an explosion of therapies and the healing arts. Suddenly it was okay to have, feel, and express and share emotions. Emotions, love, group hugs, and compassion became really important. This is the heart chakra of society being activated. This is about love and compassion and higher emotions. And then in the noughties, mass access to the internet triggered an information revolution. Social media, blogging, Twitter, Facebook, eAcademy, LinkedIn, smartphones, iPhones, iPods, iPads, we're all connected. Everyone's talking, everyone's writing, everyone's podcasting, videoing, using YouTube just like I am. Everyone's listening and reading and watching and sharing and hearing and talking. This is the throat chakra of society being activated. The throat is about expression, communication, and information. So with the base, security, structure, and survival in place, triggering a sexual revolution, leading us into our personal identity, willpower, and control, which enabled us to open our hearts to love and compassion and those higher emotions, which gave us permission to safely express those emotions and communicate that and receive and get more information. And the next chakra to be opened, which is happening right now, is the third eye, which is about insight, vision, and wisdom. This is where we start to get discernment of the communication. At the moment with the throat chakra open, everyone's talking, but sometimes people aren't saying very much. Sometimes what they're saying doesn't have a lot of content, or people are listening and reading and watching, but they're not asking any questions about the information they're getting. They're either disregarding it all or accepting it all like a sponge. There's no discernment there. So this is what we need to have right now. This is what's happening as we develop this discernment of the information. That's what will trigger the third eye to open. So the base opened at about the 30s to the 50s, the sacral in the 60s, the solar plexus in the 80s, the heart in the 90s, the throat in the noughties, the third eye any minute now. And the crown chakra will open when all of the chakras below are open and active. In fact, the 6th and 7th chakras are very closely linked. They're often considered to be the ones that are beyond tangible thought, where we move into intangible thought. So with the third eye of society opening, and being activated. We'll start to see and experience some real visionary leaders, and they're stepping forward right now. We see them stepping up. Also, what will happen is the veil of illusion will be removed for many people who will see the world as it truly is, but actually it's seeing ourselves as we truly are, because those who can really experience that removal of the illusion recognize and know that the world is simply a mirror of who they are at that time. So we'll get clarity of thought, discernment of information. We'll be able to see beyond the duality of good and evil, where we can experience just good, which transcends the duality. We'll also be able to handle the need and the ability to handle paradoxical thinking will become really essential. This is where you experience the world as perfect because you see only good, which transcends the duality, and you still recognize the need to go out and take action and make changes in the world. So this is where you can handle that paradox, which you can do at the level of the third eye activating. And it's also going to be a time of very much so of personal responsibility. So individuals who have all of the chakras below open and functioning will have the resources to be able to handle anything, and that includes seeing the world and themselves as they truly are. However, those who've got any blockages, any congestion, any restriction in the chakras below, they'll experience confusion, get caught up in mass hysteria. They'll be deluded or caught up in the illusion of a mass hypnosis as people create illusions that then delude others. And those with a little bit of awakening, just a little bit, will have enough knowledge to be able to hypnotize others. So you'll get caught up in that illusion, unable to tell the difference between what's reality and what's imagination. And you'll be unable to ground your vision. So this might lead to things like money problems, problems with money, relationship problems, and problems with your workplace, and stepping out there into the world, grounding your vision. And it also might trigger things like irrational fears, doubts, worries, even paranoia. And those delusions will lead to things like psychosis and mental illness. Now, it may not be that these people actually have a mental illness or psychosis, but they may well be diagnosed as such because of those people working at the lower chakras. So now is a time to de-hypnotize yourself, to open and activate fully all of your chakras, and that includes the personality aspects of your chakra, to take action and to change the world and yourself. Because by activating the personality aspects of your chakra, what that means is you're actually changing yourself inside, you're programming inside, and then that will be reflected out on the world. So here's what not to do at this time. Using positive thinking. Now this is like putting one of those happy smiley stickers on the oil gauge. You know, you're driving along, the oil light on your car comes on, and you think, oh, I know, I'm going to just think some happy thoughts. I'll put a smiley sticker on and I'll just sing a happy song and hope that everything's fine. And maybe I'll, say a little mantra and chime some Tibetan bells at the same time. Now, what this means is the engine will still seize. So positive thinking doesn't actually work, because sometimes you need to make changes in order to get what you want out of life. Affirmations. Now these have been shown only to change your state in the moment, but not to remove unwanted programming, not to remove negative programming. So if you have limiting beliefs, you can't change them by just saying affirmations. Affirmations they do work to change your state, but only in the moment. So you feel great while you're saying them, but as soon as you stop saying them, the unwanted programming kicks in again and you're back to where you started. So that's not going to work either at this time. Also, what not to do is don't worry, don't panic, don't think it's the end of the world, because it's absolutely not. And coming up next time, I'm going to show you and share with you how to identify which of your chakras are opening and functioning and which are not. And to discover how you can get ready and harness the energy of the 2012 shift, go to www.2012EnergyShift.com/course. Bye for now.